Conservative New Media sports fans, we've got some news from the NBA about Houston Rockets star point guard Jeremy Lin. Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey had some flattering words for the Harvard phenom in an interview he gave to the Houston Chronicle. We'll include a link to the Chronicle article in the video description below the video player so you can check it out for yourself. Morey said that the Golden State Warriors should be given the most credit for discovering Lin's NBA potential. The Warriors were the first NBA team to sign Jeremy Lin. The general manager added that he and the Rockets front office knew that they would pursue Lin during this offseason after they allowed Lin to get away from the team, I believe, last year. Then Morey added a comment that I thought was very revealing about how he and much of the NBA seems to view Jeremy Lin and Lin's potential. Referring to last season's electric Linsanity stretch, the GM said, quote, "We thought he could be an NBA player. The mistake was we didn't anticipate how good. Even though our analysis indicated he could be great, probably not this great. We did not anticipate he could be as good as he was in that stretch." Unquote. Now, some analysis on this interview and Morey's last quote there. First, one thing I have consistently seen as an observer of Jeremy Lin's career and rise to stardom is that he seems to be constantly underrated by talent evaluators. Golden State let him go, Houston let him go, and now the Knicks have let him go. Even during the amazing Linsanity run last year, people still seem to doubt how good Lin could be. Maybe Kobe Bryant said it best last year after Linsanity hit the Lakers for 38 points. Kobe basically said, "Jeremy Lin doesn't need me to tell him anything." Hopefully, going forward, more people will give Lin a fair shake and believe in his abilities. Second, credit has to be given to the Rockets for realizing their mistake in letting Lin go and targeting him for reacquisition this summer. It would have been very easy for Houston to just move on after missing on Lin the first time around, but instead they made a huge effort to correct the mistake, and it has paid off big. Respect must be given to the Rockets front office for this move. Third, if Lin has shown how good he can be already, how good can he become in the future? This is the real question around Jeremy Lin. There are some people that feel that last year's Linsanity run was a fluke, that Lin will kind of level off in his development this year and in the future. On the other hand, there are people like myself who believe that Lin has just kind of scratched the surface of how good he really can be. Now, we know there are things that Jeremy Lin does need to work at. He needs to continue to work on driving to his left and making plays with his left. He needs to continue to solidify his outside shot. He needs to continue to work on his individual man-to-man defense and just some other aspects that any point guard needs to develop. Knowing your personnel, knowing when to shoot and when to pass, etc. But as I have said before, in video after video on our channel, which we consider to be the #1 channel on YouTube for Jeremy Lin news, I believe Jeremy Lin can be a star and possibly even a superstar. He's not lacking in anything. He's tall enough. He's around 6'3". He's big enough. It's around 200 pounds, which is heavier than a lot of people think he is. And one of the most important aspects, in my opinion, is Jeremy Lin is pretty darn athletic. We saw him with the dunk against, I think, the Washington Wizards last year off of the drive. This is a guy who is explosive. He's not Russell Westbrook explosive, but he doesn't have to be that explosive. He still is an above-average athlete at the point guard position in the NBA. I think so. That's where I would put him. So I think that the sky is the limit for Jeremy Lin. I have seen video of him over this summer of some good-looking workouts. You know, he's really appears to be training hard. I know he trained hard last summer and was working on things such as explosiveness and that kind of thing which he needs in order to just compete with the excellent athletes in the NBA. So you don't end up going to Harvard and surviving a couple different cuts in the NBA unless you have work ethic and smarts. This guy seems dedicated. He knows that the Houston Rockets want him, so he's in a situation where there's no question that the team is committed to him. So that's very good for him. I think that we can expect to see an improved Jeremy Lin this upcoming season as long as he's able to stay healthy. Now, we know he got that surgery on his meniscus on one of his knees at the end of last year. So he has to watch that. He has to try to make sure he limits the wear and tear on his knees and that he's ready to play starters minutes this year because he's going to almost certainly be doing that. So as long as he's able to keep his health intact, I think that Jeremy Lin, as I mentioned before, is someone who is going to be able to consistently compete for an all-star spot year in, year out on merit, not because a group of fans wants to vote him in even if he's not good enough. I think that he has the ability to be good enough to make the all-star team by himself without anybody's assistance or anything like this. That doesn't mean he'll make it every year. That doesn't mean that he's going to be the best point guard in the league. We've got some outstanding point guards in the NBA at this time, including Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Rajon Rondo, Steve Nash, etc. So it's not a poor talent level in the NBA at that position right now. Jeremy Lin's going to have a lot of competition, but I think that he has the ability to be in that discussion or close to it. And what more can you want, especially for a guy coming out of the Ivy League who nobody really thought was going to be anything at the pro level? So what do you think about what the Rockets general manager, Daryl Morey, said in this interview? Is J-Lin better than you thought he was going to be in the NBA? Or did teams just overlook his abilities? You let us know what you think in the comments section below. Please vote this video up or down. Let us know what you thought about that. And of course, we encourage you to come and check out the Conservative New Media Facebook group. We have over 2,000 members on that group and growing, and we'd love to have you become part of that group. You'll find the link to that group in the video description. This is NBA expert Paul F. Villarreal. You're watching Conservative New Media. Thanks a lot for watching, and we will talk with you soon.